How to talk to girls. So there's two things you need to understand whenever you're talking to girls. The first thing is that looks only get you in the door. Just because you're handsome doesn't mean you're going to be like this amazing conversationalist when you're talking to girls. And then the second thing that you need to understand is that you simply just need to be yourself. Now, neither of those answers are probably what you wanted to hear because they probably go completely against everything you already believe or have always been told, but let's break it down. So I'm going to tell a story real quick. So when I first hopped onto self-improvement a couple years ago, I pretty much hyper fixated on looks. I got my physique right. I started dressing better. I started getting my hair cut regularly. Just got way better looking. Like it was literally like a night and day difference. If you guys know anything about me or have seen any of my older videos, you guys know what I used to look like. I was pretty unattractive, and in fact, I was like completely invisible to girls. Like girls wouldn't notice me. Girls wouldn't, give me the time of day when I tried to speak to them. It just was not very good. But then once I actually became attractive, that completely changed, like from 0 to 100, like really, really quick. Like it was like a drastic night and day difference. Like I went from not being able to attract a girl or even get a girl to talk to me to save my life to now girls literally throwing themselves at me. So looks obviously get you in the door. But when you neglect everything else, like your money, your personality, your confidence, your mindset, your conversational skills, these dates that you go on with girls aren't going to go very well. So I was actually able to attract what I would describe as my dream girl. She was a beautiful girl, literally my type, like full package, everything. And she was actually really, really into me. We matched on like a dating app. She was really into me, really wanted to go out with me. And we hit it off really well over text, set up the date. And when I actually went on the date, it didn't go like horrible. Like it wasn't like the worst date in the world, but like it was pretty awkward, which is normal to an extent on a first date. But my social skills were just off, especially with women, because I wasn't really talking to women beforehand. And she could pick up on that. Like there was a lot of like awkward silences. I'd get kind of like weird jokes that didn't really like click with her. And like she started like asking me questions like, how many dates have you gone on this year? How many girls are you talking to? Because she could kind of tell that like I was inexperienced and that like I wasn't really talking to girls, which kind of like weirded her out because it was like, this guy's really, really handsome, but like, why hasn't he gone out with any girls? Like this doesn't really make sense. Like if he's this handsome, he should be attracting a lot of girls. But I came across as like very needy and desperate on the date, and I didn't really know how to communicate properly with her, which just kind of led to her losing attraction in me. And by the time the date was over, I walked her to her car, and the next day, she's taken like anywhere between 12 to 24 hours to respond to any of my texts, where beforehand it was literally she was responding within 10 to 15 minutes, right? And I knew that like her attraction lowered, and that really stung my ego. It really hurt me inside because I really liked this chick, but it ended up me just like getting in an argument with her, which was my fault, by the way. Like I ended up like lashing out on her. I totally killed the vibe, and then we never saw each other again. And that was simply due to the fact that I didn't focus on mastering the art of communication. I didn't know how to actually like talk to not just girls, but people in general, right? So when it comes to talking to girls, it's really not that much different than talking to anyone else. A good rule of thumb when it comes to talking to people and making them like you more is to simply let them do more of the talking. So if you're on a date with a girl and she hasn't said something along the lines of, wow, I feel like I've talked about myself this whole time, I don't really feel like I've gotten to know you, you're doing it right. You're doing it right. That's what you should hear, that at the end of every date. Like every date I go on, a girl tells me something along those lines, or she says something like, I feel like I don't even really know you that much. Sparking mystery, and that makes her more attracted to you because she wants to know more about you, and then that gets you another date, right? So when you talk to girls, make sure they're doing most of the talking, because also people love talking about themselves. People love talking about themselves. So ask questions, but don't make it like interview style, like, where are you from? What do you like to do? no, don't do it like that. Like, ask a question and then build off that. You don't even have to build questions off the questions. You could build statements or one-liners that force her to engage with the conversation. A really good book I like that taught me how to like communicate this way is Never Split the Difference by Chris Voss. He was like an FBI negotiator, and he really goes into like the psychology of like conversations, negotiating, influence, all that kind of stuff, which is very applicable when you're talking to girls. So when you're on a date with a girl, make sure that she's doing most of the talking, because that's one, going to make her like you more, but two, you don't really have to like overthink what you want to say. You just make the conversation about her, and it's pretty easy, right? But also, let's go back to the whole like looks thing. So, will being handsome get you more girls? Absolutely, absolutely. And if anyone tells you otherwise, they're lying to you and they don't know better. My dating life was literally non-existent before I was handsome, but just because I got handsome didn't mean that like my dating life was the quality I wanted it to be, because like I said, I was lacking in the communication, right? I didn't ever really like focus on fine tuning that skill, because at the end of the day, it is a skill. So, I gave you that little trick to make the conversations more about her, so she's doing most of the talking, but let's go over how you can actually be a better conversationalist when it's your turn to talk, right? So I got really good at communication by getting a sales job, right? I think every man should work a sales job. It's the best skill you can learn as a man, because it's transferable into almost everything you can do. And you're going to make the most money in sales because your time isn't linked with money, right? What you put in is what you get out. But if you can learn the art of sales, and I don't mean be like Jordan Belfort in The Wolf of Wall Street. That's not what I mean. I mean actually selling a product that is worth buying and that you believe in, and that will actually help other people. For instance, me, I'm in mortgage sales, and that really taught me how to conversate with people on multiple different levels, right? I'm doing lots of cold calls, trying to network with real estate agents so they can refer me business, right? I had to learn the art of persuasion, the art of influence, so they'd actually trust me with their business. I had to do hundreds and hundreds, thousands of cold calls, right? But all those repetitions helped me master the art of communication. It helped me fine tune those skills that I was reading about, like in books like Never Split the Difference or How to Win Friends and Influence People, right? Which, by the way, reading books will also make you far more articulate, right? I don't really know like the nuances and the science behind it, but if you start reading, you will instantly become a better communicator. So start reading books. It's good for your brain, and you'll learn more, and you'll become better at speaking. Now, another aspect that I learned of communication while working in sales was also trying to influence and persuade the borrowers, the people needing a mortgage, on the best financing solution for them so that they can finance a home, right? I have to really guide them step by step, but I had to learn how to do that, right? And reading books taught me how to properly influence the prospect to make the right decision so they could finance a home, right? So get a sales job. It doesn't matter if it's tech sales, high ticket sales, door-to-door sales, whatever kind of sales job it is, figure it out. Become the master at it. Practice that skill every single day, and you will become the best speaker in any room. Another thing that just really helped me get good at speaking is doing what I'm doing right now, filming content. Now, I've always been passionate about making content, but I wasn't always good at it, right? But as I've made more videos, as I've filmed more reels, filmed more YouTube videos, filmed the course modules, which, by the way, if you want to be in my one-on-one coaching where I help men master their self-image so they can achieve the dating life they actually desire and feel more confident in their own skin, you can just click the first link in the description of this video and we can book a call and talk. But anyways, with that said, fine-tuning all these skills has allowed me to become amazing at communication, right? Because I'm constantly talking to you guys in the camera. And then I look at, my older videos, how I spoke, things I said, and how I can improve on that for the next video. So just practice talking into a camera. Even if you don't want to like make content online, do it for yourself. Like just practice at home, like maybe after the end of the day at work or school or whatever you do. Just do like a video journal. Talk about your day. Like today I did this happened, I talked to this girl, blah, 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 bam. Easy. So the second thing, just be yourself. Now this is gonna piss some of you guys off because it's not really what you want to hear, right? Just be yourself. Just be confident, bro. But it's the truth, right? A lot of you guys are in your own head when you talk to girls because you're too worried about impressing her and trying to make her like you. That's the total wrong mindset to go about it, and you're in the wrong frame, right? And that's kind of where I was at when I was on that date with that girl that I described as my dream girl. I was too worried. I was trying to like make her like me instead of just focusing on why should I even like her, right? When you be yourself, now I'm not saying like show her all your true colors. Don't like make the fucking weird jokes you make with your friends around her. But like, don't worry about showing who you really are, because when you're yourself, you don't have to worry about putting on an act. You don't have to worry about impressing her, and you're naturally coming from a point of, you know, I'm okay with who I am. I don't really care what this girl thinks about me, and you're naturally gonna just come across as more attractive because you're being yourself, right? When you're worried about trying to impress her, you're gonna put on what's called like the nice guy act, and a lot of you guys are really guilty of this whole nice guy thing. Some of you guys are in denial about it. You're like, I'm not a nice guy, but it's like, bro, look at how you text this girl and how you text anyone else on your phone, like your mom or your friends. You're not asking them how their day was, what they were up to today, and you're not sending them all these big paragraphs. But all of a sudden, when you're talking to a cute girl, you switch up how you act and you text her completely differently. Bro, you don't give a fuck how her day was. You don't care what she has going on. You just want to go out with her. You just want to see her. You just want to bang her, bro. Like, let's be real. You're just putting on an act, and she can sense right through it. She can sense right through it. She knows it's an act, and it's what gives her the ick, and it's why she goes out with other guys. The quote-unquote, the bad boy, right? He's not actually a bad boy. This guy just acts like himself because he's not outcome dependent. He's not worried about trying to impress this girl so she can like him more, which actually makes him more attractive, right? So stop putting on this nice guy act. Just be yourself. And if she doesn't like you, who cares? Move on to the next girl. There's plenty of other girls out there, right? But when you naturally act like yourself, you become more attractive because you're not acting out of scarcity, right? You need to have an abundance mindset. And everyone thinks that having abundance just means that you have lots of girls in your roster or lots of girls in your inbox or whatever. And yeah, that absolutely helps, but you don't even have to have an abundance mindset in that aspect. An abundance mindset literally just boils down being comfortable in who you are and the life you live, right? So if you're living this like badass life, you enjoy your career, you got a cool circle of friends, you have fun hobbies, you're naturally gonna come from a point of abundance because you don't really care if this girl likes you or not because you got other things going on in your life, not just girls. So adopt an abundance mindset. This instantly makes you more attractive. You don't have to worry about trying to impress this girl, and she's gonna actually end up liking you more because you're not like all the other lame dudes bringing her flowers on the first date, constantly showering her in compliments, and being like this nice, docile guy who's not in his masculine frame. At the end of the day, you need to be a confident, masculine man. If you dial in your looks, your communication, and then you're confident and masculine, you're instantly her number one pick, right? All the other guys she's talking to are lame as fuck, and you are instantly going to be the most attractive guy, whether you're the most handsome or not. Just simply the fact that she'll fall into her feminine frame and you're in your masculine frame, and she can submit to you, she's instantly going to be so much more attracted to you because no other guy is able to put her in her feminine state. So many guys talk about how women aren't feminine anymore in the West, and it's simply due to a reflection of your own self. Sure, some girls are more masculine than others, but it's really mainly due to the fact that you're not masculine as a man and she's not able to be in her feminine state. So be yourself. Stop trying to be this nice guy because that's what's turning her away. You're not actually a nice guy. You're actually manipulating her because you're putting on an act so she'll like you more, right? She's fallen in love with someone that isn't even you. So you're not a nice guy. You're manipulative. It's fucked up. Stop doing it. So if you want to be able to talk to girls better, make the conversation about them. Ask them questions, right? Let them do most of the talking. Another thing you can do, I forgot to sprinkle this in there, talk slow. Talk slow. This makes you come across as more confident, right? Makes you sound more sure of yourself. When you talk fast like this, it doesn't really sound like you're very confident in yourself. You sound like you're kind of nervous, right? You want to sound confident. You don't want to sound nervous. I forgot to sprinkle that in there, but talk slow. Make the conversation about her. Ask questions. Show genuine interest. Don't fake the interest. If you're not interested, express that to her, right? Talk some shit. Women love it, right? Because you're not afraid to you're not walking on eggshells, right? You come across as confident, right? It goes back to that whole abundance mentality. I don't care what she thinks about me, right? And that's what makes her attracted to you. Be confident. consider getting a sales job. One, this will help you make more money, but two, it'll also make you better at communicating, whether you're talking to girls or networking, right? But guys, the main point of this video is that if you want to talk to girls, you need to practice your communication skills, and you need to understand that you need to just be yourself and that your looks won't save you. But I'm not going to deny the fact that looks don't matter. So if that's something you want to maximize because you know that it's going to make you more confident and it's going to give you the ability to speak and communicate better to girls because you're more confident in your own skin, I do help men maximize their self-image so they can achieve the dating life they do want, because at the end of the day, you could be the best communicator in the world, but if you're not even attractive in the first place, you're going to struggle. It's going to be really hard. In fact, my dating life used to be non-existent when I wasn't attractive. So I understand the importance of looks, so that's why I like to help men maximize their self-image so they can achieve the dating life they truly desire by achieving the aesthetic body, learning how to dress, getting the right haircut, being well-groomed, working on your body language, and of course, practicing how you speak so you can be more attractive and be the full package, the most well-rounded man you can be. So you're her top pick, and she doesn't care about any of the other dudes she's talking to. So if you want to be the 10 out of 10 man you're truly capable of, I offer one-on-one coaching. We'll work together. Just click the link in the description of this video. You can book a call with me, and if you seem like a right fit, we'll get you right, man. But that's it for this video. That's how you talk to girls. Hope you enjoyed this video. Like, subscribe. If you guys have any questions, just shoot me a DM on Instagram. But that's it for this video. I'll see you guys in the next video.